Hello and welcome back. And this is verse number 18 of chapter number 1, the holy signs. Right. So, this is chapter 1. This will come to an end. This is verse number 18. This is the last verse. Right. So, in this last verse, this has been explained by Shri Yukteshawr Giri ji that what is a salvation. The concept of salvation has been explained along with the concept of Atman, which is known as the self, your soul. Right. So, these basic concepts have been explained here. So just need to listen it carefully. So we all know from the beginning of this chapter we have understood that what is chitta, what is chit, how the different sensory organs have been formed, what are the different feelings, right? All those things we all aware of from this chapter, right? Now let us bring that figure once again, which we understood. So we know that there is a God particle. It starts vibration, right? At one point of time when it starts vibration, then every wave has a certain sound, right? Certain frequency. So every frequency has certain sound. So that sound is known as Om, right? Now at after some time, this wave, after at some point of time, right? This wave reaching to a particular frequency level at this point, where this is a different frequency layer. At this layer, when this particular wave reaches, then this becomes this frequency becomes equal to the frequency of the light waves, right? So this is the light wave from here onwards. This light wave is known as the chitta. From here onwards, it is known as the chitta, right? So after this point, you become chitta. You are traveling in this direction, right? Keep traveling in this direction. You are trying to find out the happiness in this world only, right? Because after traveling into this direction, all the things are the light particles. The infinite number of light particles, they are creating different kind of things, right? They are creating different kind of sensory organs. They are creating different kind of feelings. They are all involved in creating all these things, right? So you are not aware about yourself. You are just running towards this direction, trying to find out the happiness in the worldly desires, in the worldly affairs, because those worldly desires and worldly affairs, they are also being created out of these particles, right? So these particles try to, you know, exploit these particles only. These particles are trying to exploit these particles only. These particles, in the form of a sensory organ, are trying to exploit these, which are in the form of some kind of object, right? The opposite sex, maybe the something to eat, right? So all these things are there because of these light particles only. They have been created by these particles only. And to get a detailed description of these particles, what are they, how they behave, there is different philosophy which is known as a Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya Darshan, right? So that also you can understand if you want. You can read it, Sankhya Darshan. On our channel as well, we will be having a playlist very soon in Hindi for the Sankhya Darshan. Maybe 2 or 3 months, I will try to bring that up. Okay. Now, when you are traveling in this direction, at some point of time, you feel that yes, I am not able to get the containment, right? I'm not feeling contained, right? So where is that complete happiness? Where is that complete bliss, right? That you are not able to get because you were trying it with the different things, but again you were failing because it doesn't mean like if you have got something to eat today which is which is very tasty for you, and your lust towards the test is having that subject in your mind that yes, I will eat that and I will feel content, but after some time you again start feeling the craving of that object. You again want to eat that, right? So you are not able to make yourself content. You are not able to feel content even after eating it so many times, right? So you try to find out that why why I'm not able to feel content. Where is that thing which will make me content, right? In that case, when you start thinking like this, and you start thinking that yes, this world cannot be that place where I can get the full containment, then in that case, obviously, the other direction is the opposite direction. And that opposite direction is the right direction, which is the direction towards the seed of all the happiness, which is the God. right? So when you start running into the opposite direction, which is the right direction, then you reach, after analyzing all your characteristics, you start reaching to a point where you become a light wave, where you become a light particle, because light wave also behaves like a light particle. So you start into the other direction, in the in the opposite direction, and you reach up to that point where you become the light particle. You see that source, that you see, that which made you the light particle, is known as the incarnation of God. That is the incarnation of God, or known as the Christ, or known as the Taranhar in Hindi, right? Who will who will be the salvation agent for you. Basically, it's the salvation agent. In English, if we say it properly, then it's a salvation agent for you, right? So once you see this doesn't mean that you see from your eyes. Seeing means you start feeling your frequency level, right? Because it's all frequency and energy. Your frequency level becomes equal to the frequency level of this wave, from where it becomes a light wave. This place, right? Your frequency is able to reach up to this up to this layer where you become a light wave, a light particle, right? So this point is known as the point of salvation, starting of the salvation. Basically, from here, your way to salvation is started. Your your door to salvation is opened, right? So when you reach to this point, then in that case, your frequency becomes equal to the frequency at this level, right? Whatever frequency is at this level, your frequency becomes equal to this level, and that's how you start feeling it. It doesn't like from your eyes you are able to see, oh, this is the light, this is coming from that place. No, nothing is material, nothing is materialistic here. Everything is at the level of frequency, and that frequency brings you at the level of feeling, right? So when you reach up to this point where you are at the level of feeling that, yes, from here I became a light wave, I am light, you will purely feel that you are light. It's not like you will tell yourself unnecessarily that, yes, start feeling that you are light. No, you will feel that you are a light, right? You will feel that you are light. So at this point of time, you meet your salvation agent, right? And at that point of time, it becomes like, since you have reached up till here, at this point of time, this particular wave, which is running in this direction, which became the light wave, this tunes to you, right? And you became tuned to this wave, and you are not able to now get rid of it, right? It attracts you, it pulls you, right? This pulling is known as the, you know, in English, it is called as, by the Christ, it is called as the in Hindi we call it baptisma. I'm not sure what we call it in English, pure English, but yeah, it's something like salvation only, right? Purifying your soul, in the English we can say it. But yeah, in Hindi, purification of that soul is known as the baptisma, baptization, right? So I think baptization is again some word in English, and that is what the word I'm trying to explain to you, right? So, so that baptism happens, and that baptism is nothing but when you reach up to this frequency level, then after that your frequency cannot get rid of this, and you will be pulled, you will be tuned forcibly, right, by this energy, by this energy wave, which is known as the wave of the God, right? This is God's wave, right? So it just pulls you. Once it pulls you, then also you are able to see yourself, you are able to feel yourself as part of the light, as the part of that light. And this is the way to salvation. And once you are able to see yourself as the part of light, after that, you become surrendered, because you don't have any option. Because if someone has pulled you, then he is, and if he is so strong, because he is the supreme, so he is the strongest. So you cannot do anything. You just don't have any other option other than to surrender yourself, right? So you surrendered yourself because you feel the ultimate bliss. And after that, you don't want to do anything. You just get surrendered. You just leave yourself. and that is known as the surrender, surrender to the God, and that is known as the salvation, right? So at that point of time, before you just get surrender, and after you feel, after you become bliss soul, or you become the supreme soul, before that, just before that, and at the time of surrender, you just feel your soul. You you know your soul at that point of time. You find your soul at that point of time, and you know at that point of time that this soul is nothing but a feeling. Soul is nothing but a feeling which came out of the nothingness. Nothingness means, because God is nothing. Nothing means it is nothing for us, right? He is everything. But for us, that cannot be explained, and that is why for us that is nothing. Whatever cannot be explained to us, that is known as nothing. But that is, in fact, everything, but that cannot be explained. We don't have the words for that. We don't have any kind of feelings which can elaborate that, right? And that is why that is known as nothing, for nothingness for us, that is known as the nothing for us. So that nothing is everything, and that nothing has been spread out all over, in the form of different particles, in the form of space, in the form of time, in every form. This has been spread out in entire universe. So one such part which wants to live a certain feeling related to a certain animal, or maybe any plant, maybe any human, when it wants to live a particular feeling, then that particular nothing becomes a traveler, right? That particular nothing becomes a traveler of these feelings. When it starts traveling all around these feelings, then that traveling is known as the soul, right? So the traveling of nothingness is the soul, part of nothingness, the travel of the part of nothingness from one point to the other point, without breaking the path, without coming out of that path, without getting out of that travel, is known as one soul. As soon as you are able to get rid of that path, you are able to come out of that travel, then you are a blessed soul, you are a deity, right? You are a helper of supreme soul. Helper means you are that particular element of the nature which helps in running this nature, governing this nature. You become the part of governance of this nature, right? So you become deity, right? That soul which makes everything possible to run this universe is known as the deity, right? Deity is nothing, it's just a energy, it's just a wave, right? So all these things have been explained metaphorically. So when you know that this soul was nothing, but it was just the part of nothing, it was just the part of nothing, which just like other feelings, other sensory organs have been created similarly, this nothing, this part of nothing, it can travel, right? It is everything, right? This part of nothing is everything. And this can travel through different feelings. Once it starts traveling through different feelings, and once it starts traveling continuously, then from one point to the other point, this is known as a soul. Doesn't mean that it will be different soul in the next life. The one soul is one soul from one life to the other life, other to the other life, because it has not stopped itself from roaming into the different materialistic things, right? Like different feelings, or the different materialistic things, like the body of an animal, the body of a human. It has started traveling into the different materials. So this is the way it travels throughout the different materials, right? And it is known as the one soul. If it is able to get out of this jinx, this travel, then this is a blissed soul. And once it knows that yes, I don't need to live different kind of feelings, I can become one with the supreme soul, where the seed of all the happiness, seed of all the feelings is there, seed of all the bhava is there, then it becomes tuned with the supreme soul, it becomes one with the supreme soul, and that oneness is known as the salvation. In Hindi, we call it Kaivalya. So I hope you must have understood this concept. And in the last, In the last verse, it has been explained of this chapter. So this was the last verse of this chapter 1. In the next video, we will start with the next chapter. So you can put your comments and you can let me know that if you are able to understand it properly or not. Because see, these things are really tough to explain, right? These things are really tough to explain. I tried my level best, right? Whatever, with the help, with the grace of the God, whatever I have, I tried, uh, my level best with the blessing of the God, right? But if there are few things which I could not explain or for which I was not able to find a word, then let me tell you that I will not be able to do so, because these things are beyond explanation. But still, to make it simple, our beloved Sri Yukteshawr Giriji has written this book, and whatever I could got from that book, I just tried to put in front of you, right? So with this, I would like to say have a nice day and bye bye. Thank you. Namaskar.